Okay, cool. Why don't you come up, put it on the board, let's see where you are at. So 7.2.3, number 28. So when you start this from, what do you immediately see that you need to be trying to figure out a way to do?
To get the DVD.
Right. So what does that, with all of the premises you have in that conclusion, what rule does that already kind of look like?
The addition or some, or no.
Uh,
What is it? Oh, the CD one.
Yeah.
That's what I used.
Yeah, construct the dilemma, good. Okay, cool.
Yeah, my real question was on 5, I got B or D, which is this dot switch, and then it goes through the whole thing just to switch it.
Mm-hmm.
So would you have to do the whole thing to switch it, or could that be the answer?
I would say that's fine being the answer. Yeah, we haven't learned that technical little rule yet to switch it. But as long as you've got the content there, it's the same thing,
Yeah, I understood it. I was just confused, why it went all the way through. Just to
Right.
switch.
So I'm guessing. Let me look at the back of the book. Because we don't have that rule, it's going to make you reorder it in some way first, right? So it's probably going to make you break.
It breaks these up, I think, or these two.
Yeah. Right. It'll break them and then reorder those ones, right?
Yeah.
Which is just, you absolutely don't need to do that,
Okay.
right? Yeah. So that's perfect. That is the perfect way to solve it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That was my question.
Cool. All right, anybody else have particular problems you want to work on, questions, anything you want to volunteer to do? Or should I just start picking numbers? Okay, let's do, we'll do a few more. Let's do one round of 7.2.3. And then I want us to do 7.2.4 and work on that together, which wasn't assigned, but it's translation problems that you then do a proof on. So let's do Samantha's at 20, 21, 22, Julian 23, 24. Did we do any of those last time? I don't think so. Okay, do you remember your numbers? Okay, cool. If you already have those problems done and want to come explain to us how you did them, great, you can come on up, but if you need a second to work through them, just work through them and then we'll get started on those as soon as you're done. All right. Yeah.
Okay, so I have 21.
All right, talk us through how you solve it.
Okay, so we can immediately get not S because of simplification of line 4.
Good?
Percent. And so then we can add both B and A onto that so that we can fill these conditionals using addition. So kind of do that.
Good.
That's 5. Yeah, so now I can get both F and M. So F from 2, 6 notice funnels. M from 3, 7 notice funnels. So then we can get F and M from 8, 9 conjunction.
Good.
And then I'm gonna go over here because I don't have a room. 11. Then we can get S or T from 10, 1 motor exponents. And then we can get the conclusion T because we have not S and S or T using a disjunctive syllogism, which is 5, 11 DS.
Nice. Good job. Yeah, great. That's perfect. Anybody catch any mistakes? Any questions on this one? How he did it? Okay, good job. All right. Who's next? Cool. Come on up. There you go.
Okay.
Cool.
So first thing I saw was just the hypothetical syllogism. So E to B. And then I wanted to get to the G, so I simplified this one to start that.
Good.
And then just add it for them. And then from that you get the F to G. And then since this one is the constructive dilemma, I added the 6.
Okay, good. Yeah, you're thinking 2 steps ahead. That's great.
So then and then with the D or F you get D or G from the constructive dilemma.
Good. Nice. Perfect. Good job. That's great. Wow, we are all getting so much faster at this. That's crazy. All right, who's next? Come on up.
place that G is, you put the
Yeah, you have to target that G, figure out how you get it out of that premise one.
First, I did not end from 3.
Good,
Not pay those tones to.
good,
So then you can add those together. So you can get that.
good.
So now you can get this whole thing of those comments. And then you can get A or G because you have not P and not R here. Is the
Good,
and then you can get G because you have not G.
Good. Good, yeah, finish it out that disjunctive. Beautiful. Okay, nice, good job. Anybody have any questions on this one? All right. Who's going next? Sure, come on up. Let's, after these last two, let's start working on 7.2.4. So let's translate and prove 5, 6, 7, 8, whenever you're done. I know you haven't gone yet, so you have to start working on it, but
I'm gonna do all the numbers first, just to make sure I'm in space.
yeah.
This is a big one.
Wow, yeah, this is a long one. This chalk, man, it's so bad. Yeah. Oops, cool. Maybe actually zoom into that. This thing sucks. This mic. Okay, let's go back a few steps and just look at what you're doing. So 5, you're gonna knock K from 4, simplification, good. 6, 5, 3 modus ponens. 5, 3 modus ponens, perfect. 7, Elton T, 2, 5 modus ponens. 2, 5.
Oh, that should say simplification, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, that.
Yeah, it'd just be 2 simplification.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it should say, that's my bad. That's what I have here, I just copied it down.
Oh, okay. So that's good, then 8, is that J then K from 1 simplification perfect?
Okay, there we go.
Where are you on 10, not L? From 8 and 9? Not 8 and 9, right?
Did I? So I may.
I think it's 7 and 9. 7 and 9,
Not bad.
yeah. You're doing it right.
I.
It's just a lot of information to copy down.
You're good. When I was copying this down, I messed up on a line, so I
Ah,
took the
okay.
numbers off. So there may be some wrong numbers on this side.
Yeah.
No problem, so I got this side.
Yeah.
Should be.
Okay, not M, yeah, from a disjunctive syllogism. Okay, yeah, it looks right to me. Good. 15 line one. Pretty good size. I like it.
Sorry
Yeah,
about-
good job.
Sorry about the wait. Also, what number?
What numbers I give you? Oh,
I was 5.
What's 6?
6, 7, 8, 9.
Or 7 point.
7.2.4, yeah. The translations and then a proof. Julian, you ready with your proof?
I never finished it.
Okay.
So
Yeah, let's see what we can do.
when they start getting this long, I start getting confused.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've only got a few lines.
That piece of chalk isn't squeaky. So you've got to remember which one that is because I want to use it.
Okay. So, just looking at it, the first thing I saw was, so 3/4. Just left me with B.
Good, yeah.
And then, I know I need this D, so I did. And that's as far as I got.
Oh, okay, I see what you're trying to do. So you can't do that.
Why?
Because so when you do modus ponens, right, the left, you have to affirm the entire left-hand side there, B or C.
Yep.
Yeah. But you are right that you're going to do modus ponens on that.
I could.
Mm-hmm. So you're going to affirm the left-hand side to get the right-hand side of that arrow, right? So how can you affirm, what would you need to affirm the left-hand side of 2?
I need that.
Yeah, that whole thing, B or C. So what makes B or C true? What's the truth condition for an or statement? Yeah, you have at least one, right? So you've got at least one right there. You've got 5. You've got B. So you already know that you have enough to affirm the left-hand side of 2. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So now you just need to get it in the right form so that you have B or C. Add, right, exactly.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, I forgot my number, because I was just trying to get to
9? Was that what it was? Or was it 8?
It was 9, I think.
I thought it was 9, I just
Okay,
thought it
yeah.
was 9 on 1. I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine. I can't remember anything. My memory is so bad. Okay, good join. Yeah, perfect. Now you want that E, but can you get it?
Yeah.
How? Mm-mm.
So, of course, I don't have my book, but that is.
Uh-uh.
No?
Mm-mm.
If it's negative, I don't know which one it is without looking at it.
Yeah, so you couldn't use modus ponens, right? Because you'd have to affirm A, but you don't have not A.
Yeah.
With modus tollens, you can only do it on the right-hand side,
Okay.
right? So you'd have to deny the right-hand side of the arrow, and that would let you deny the left-hand
So
side.
that would give me a negative E, or a negated E.
Yeah, but only if you have something on the right-hand side. So yeah, if you had a negated E, then you could make it A, but
Is it not conjunction? Is it a second set of rules? Or?
I mean, there might be multiple ways.
I don't.
Here, I can give you my rule book, or my rule set. Mm-mm.
Nope. Yeah.
What operator is a disjunctive syllogism on?
Alright, then I don't see it.
It's okay, you might not be able to do anything there. At least not yet. So
I'm
what
gonna go-
else could you
I'm
do?
gonna go back and do what I was going to do,
Yeah,
if I can remember now.
good, yeah, perfect.
See, you threw me off.
Good.
The conjunction.
Yeah, try it, see if it works. Good.
Sorry, guys.
No, you're good. You're so close. Mm-mm. Are you doing a constructive dilemma?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So look at the operator that you derive for the result.
Yeah, I know, so it doesn't, it's not what I need.
No, it is what you need.
Oh,
Yeah, you're good.
yep.
Psyching yourself out. Good. There you go. Perfect.
There's your non-squeaky check.
Yeah, there's the freaking non-squeaky nub. All right, nice. Anybody got questions on that one? Okay. Yeah, let's just give it a minute to do 7.2.4. Who's done with their problem? 1, 2, 3. Okay, cool. And then we'll give him Buckaloo, you want to come up? Show us what you got.
Can you not erase that, please?
Oh, sorry. I'll do it over here.
So if half the nation suffers from depression, then if either insurance companies have their way or psychiatrists have their way, that's I or P, then everyone will take antidepressant drugs. E. Good, okay, I think that's right. 2, H or W. If either half the nation suffers from depression, H, or sufferers want a real cure, W, then it's not the case that everyone will be taking antidepressant drugs, not E. Good. 3, half the nation suffers from depression, H. Therefore, it's not the case that either insurance companies, I, or psychiatrists will have their way, P. Good. Good, good.
Okay, so I have H, so I just got that from most dominants. And then I wanted to get the not leave to end up getting this not, so I added the W.
Okay, cool.
And then with that, I got the not E. And then got not I or P with most ones.
Nice. Good. Great. Perfect. Good job. Man, I don't know how your handwriting on a board or the chalkboard is so good. I cannot write standing up. All right. Good job. Now give it a shot. You had 6, right?
Yes.
Cool. So 1, if either parents get involved in their children's education or the school year is lengthened, then if the children learn phonics, their reading will improve, and if they're introduced to abstract concepts earlier, their math will improve. These are hard. read us off your translation, let's see if that's correct.
Okay,
Go
so
step by step.
if either parents get involved in their children's education or the school year is lengthened, then if the children learn phonics, their reading will improve,
Good.
and if they are introduced to abstract concepts, their math will improve.
Okay, good, yeah.
Now on to line 2. If either parents get involved in their children's education, or if either parents get involved in their children's education, or nebulous subjects are dropped from the curriculum, then either the children will learn phonics, or they will be introduced to abstract concepts earlier.
Good.
Parents will get involved in their children's education, and writing lessons will be integrated with other subjects, so E and W.
Good.
Therefore, either the children's reading or their math will improve.
Nice. This is something that you might actually see a variant of on this in some like pedagogy book, like Theory of Education or Teaching or something like that. But I think the virtue of this class is it teaches you like, don't talk like that. All your arguments, try to boil them down to much simpler arguments than that. Break apart the premises more or something. But yeah, that's totally correct.
Okay, so you can get P by itself. 23 simplification. And then you can get P or N with addition. And so we're going to be able to get right there. So we get P or N, which is for addition. And so then you can get L or I with 2, 5 exponents.
Yeah.
And then you can get this part if you have P or S, which we can do. For addition again. Then you get L, then R, and I, and M from 7, 1.
Yeah.
That was Jonas. Yeah. Yeah. And so then we can form a constructive dilemma there
Good.
and get our conclusion. R for M with 6, 8.
Good. Nice. Good job. Yeah, that one was a tongue twister. I hate that first premise. But yeah, good job. Again, yeah, don't talk like this. If you're going to make an argument in a paper or a book or even in just normal life, try to break it down into the most clear, concise argument you can. If you have to, give 2 different arguments instead of just one big fat one like that, right? Because that's ugly and hard to understand. All right, who's next?
Do you want me to bring my book?
Yeah, if you wanted so we could read it off, yeah, that'd be great.
So for moving, I have questions, but
Yeah.
I didn't quite get it. Just,
They get harder as they go up in number 2. So. Jillian, can we erase this? Are you good?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
start with another race.
Yeah. Not a great board. I think it's the chalk. I think this squeaky chalk, I think, is just like shitty dollar store chalk. And it clearly ruins the board, too. That piece is good, I think. So keep using the nub. So 7.2.4, number 9 for anybody watching.
That's a C. Just because there's L's and C's.
Yeah. Oh man, I gave you a long one.
So,
Alright, yeah, let's read this step by step and just see if our translation's right. Is that what you're questioning about, or do you have a question on the proof?
I had a question about the proof, but
Okay.
we could do translation.
Yeah, let's do translation first. So, you wanna read it and just point out basically what the meaning of each of these things are? I know it's a pain, but,
So it gave me the letters L, G, C, A, M, I. If we are less than certain the fetus is a person, then we must give it the benefit of the doubt.
good,
If we are certain the human fetus is a person, then we must accord it the right to live.
good,
If either we must give the fetus the benefit of the doubt or accord it the right to live, then we are not less than certain the fetus is human and it is not merely a part of the mother's body.
good,
Either we are less than certain the human fetus is a person or we are certain about it. If we are certain the human fetus is a person, then abortion is immoral. Therefore, abortion is immoral.
I'll just make sure one thing. Good.
So.
Okay, yeah, that's perfect. That's actually, okay, that's a pretty sophisticated pro-life argument, right? That is not, whether we agree with it or disagree with it in the end, that is actually a pretty good, straightforward pro-life argument. Now, we could make it more clear, I think, by rewording it and shifting the premises around a little bit. But that's actually a surprisingly good example of a real argument you might see. So, okay, yeah, let's get on to the proof. Let's see if this argument's valid.
So I couldn't really figure out what to do, so I did it in reverse. So in order to get I, I'll need to prove C correct. So in order to prove C correct, I'll need to prove L incorrect. In order to prove L incorrect, I'll need this chunk right here, because then I can simplify and get L. In order to get that chunk right there, I'll need this chunk right here. In order to get that chunk right there, I'll need the statements G and A. However, in order to get statements G and A, I'll need L and C. However, I don't have L and C, I have L or C.
Okay.
So, because these are only thens
Yes.
and ifs, I don't have any statements by themselves, so like, where do I start?
Okay, so the one thing is on 3, you don't need G and A. You just need G or A,
Yeah.
right? So that's gonna be something, if you need G
Oh,
and
yeah,
A there,
so
you'd
I
be
can
totally
just-
screwed, you couldn't do it,
And
yeah.
then I can just add.
Yeah, you could just add, yeah. If you could get one of those, you can just add, or maybe you could get both of them. So,
But I don't have like any statements by themselves, so.
right, so you can't modus ponens or modus tollens anything. It's not gonna be that straightforward. But what is the other thing, if you have, let's say, 2 arrows, what's the other rule you could start doing?
Hypothetical syllogism?
Hypothetical syllogism works, so can you do that here?
Can I?
No, I don't see anywhere. What's the other rule that uses 2 arrows? Does anybody know?
CD?
CD, yeah. Is that what you're gonna say? Okay, yeah. Constructive dilemma. So you can't do it right this second, but how could you get there to
I didn't see that, okay, I didn't see that, so I could go, so I'm forgetting, it's, so you have the one in front, so. And it's and, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah. Beautiful. So yeah, so you just use the conjunction of those 2, right?
And then that, I forget, that gives me G and A or G, yeah, right?
G or.
Sorry?
It would give you G or A.
G or A, so.
Yeah. You're good. Alright, so 6 you got from 1 to conjunction. And then 7, what were your lines?
So, 4, 6, right?
Yeah, 4, 6, constructive dilemma. Beautiful.
Oh, no, that's.
Yeah, that's conjunction.
No,
No, you're good.
Sorry, I'm tall, I can't remember.
I feel your pain. Good. Good.
That one's, I'm forgetting what it's called. It's something D.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
What's another name for or?
yeah, no, I know, I know what it is,
Yeah.
where you disprove one of these.
It's okay, if you don't know what it is,
Disjunctive
it's totally fine. Yeah, disjunctive syllogism. Just for the record, again, if you don't know what it is, but you clearly know what the rule consists of, good enough for me. Make your number calls and I'll be able to tell what rule you're using. I can't remember 80% of the rules named in this book, but I know I could write all 24 rules that we'll eventually get when we get to the more advanced logic.
I didn't
I'll
think
stop
of
there.
that, where you could construct a CD.
Yeah.
That was smart.
That was really good. But I mean, that brought a tear to my eye at the beginning because reasoning, that excellent case of reasoning backwards, like literally doing the proof in reverse, right? You went, well, I need I. I can get I if I had C on 5 with the most components. Well, how do I get C? Well, I'd have to disprove L with a disjunctive syllogism. How would I disprove L? Well, there's not L over there. So if I got that whole thing, not L and M, not M, I would have the not L, but then I need G or A. How do I get G or A? And then I got stuck. But yeah, as soon as you see, oh, I can do a constructive dilemma on 1 and 2, then the rest falls into place, right? That is a very good example of how to approach this in a very linear way where you know your target and you're trying to get to it. Now that's yeah.
Kind of how I do all of them, I just do it in reverse.
Yeah, that's really good. I mean, that's great. I think that's a great method. Now, you don't have to do it that way. Because some of these that are complicated, sometimes, let's just say like you absolutely couldn't see, like I wasn't here to tell you construct a dilemma or help you through it. Then the best thing to do would be just start playing around with things. So just start doing anything you can. So just join these together in a conjunction, even if you don't know where you're going with it. And then maybe eventually you'll see something you can do. But yeah, excellent. Good.
It's the creating a CD and then seeing like a hypothetical syllogism. Those are usually, they do it by accident.
Yep, yeah, exactly. Same, yeah, I do a lot of the bigger rules I always end up doing by accident. Jillian, you ready to come up? Let's do this. I think this was the good move.
You want me to read this, or do you want?
Yeah, if you don't want, after you write it down, we can read it and check the translation. You had 7, right?
8.
Oh, 8, sorry. I'm going to say the 13th edition, I guess these are probably the same as the 11th, but these arguments are pretty good, much better than the 10th or the 7th edition that I've used.
Okay. So either medical fees or malpractice awards, then we must give it the benefit. Nope, that was the wrong one, sorry. Then healthcare costs will soar and millions of poor will go uninsured.
Good, perfect.
If the lawyers get their way, the malpractice awards will escape restriction. If doctors get their way, the medical fees will escape restriction. Either the doctors or the lawyers will get their way, and insurance companies will resist form, therefore healthcare costs will soar.
Perfect.
Okay.
And an argument I agree with. Good. Yeah, see conjunction, do a conjunction. My professor in undergrad, my logic professor, who I'm still very good friends with, he would always tell us, when we get stuck on something, he'd be like, see something, do something. And he would just repeat, See a conjunction, do a conjunction. See a simplification, do a simplification, over and over and over again. All right, let's see, 2-3 conjunction, good. 4-5 constructive dilemma, 4-5, the era. Yeah, that, okay, so technically, before you do 6, I would want you to, the book would want you to simplify 4. Just to get D or L by itself. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But it's not wrong. I would never count that wrong. That's exactly a correct use of that rule.
I just didn't do that because I
Yeah.
don't need, I really, anywhere, so.
Yeah, right. And I think that, again, that's totally fine. Yeah. The book makes you go in as little steps as possible, even though you don't have to. So good, and then 1-6 postpones, 1-6.
Does it matter if they're not?
Oh, right, no, you're right. See, I wasn't seeing that. Good. P8 sounds perfect. Yeah, good job. Nice. Okay. Last one, huh? Let's, yeah, come on. Let's, after this, what time is it? 11:19? Let's do something a little bit interesting. After we do this, I'll say exactly what, and then we can go. I want you all, think in your head right now. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Think in your head right now about something you believe. Like maybe not something completely uninteresting. It could be the existence of God, it could be the non-existence of God, it could be a certain moral or ethical truth or position that you believe. It could just be something about philosophy. Think about something that you believe and then start thinking why you believe it. And we're going to try to make a deductive argument for it. Okay, 7.
So it's, if manufacturers will not concentrate on producing a superior product, or they will not market their product abroad, then if they will not concentrate on producing a superior product, then the trade deficit will worsen. Either manufacturers will concentrate on producing a superior product, or the trade deficit will not worsen. Manufacturers will not concentrate on producing a superior product. Oops, I forgot to make my bad. Okay.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's great. Good.
Because motors components, we did that.
Good.
Then you can get T because you have not C on the
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Yeah, that's exactly right. Good. Now, do you see anything in here interesting about this problem? Like, for instance, do you see where you can derive a contradiction? Well, you already have one, but there's another contradiction you could derive too.
Probably could it be C?
Right, you can get C, because once you get not T, then you could derive C. So you have T and not T, C and not C.
Yeah.
So now you can just use that argument to prove anything, right?
Yeah, I got it, but I had trouble getting it because
Yeah.
there's like so many. It seems like it's wrong when you're solving it.
Yes, yeah. So if you've got again a contradiction in your premises somewhere, or your premises imply a contradiction, Your argument's gonna be technically valid, but what's it not gonna be? Sound. Why? What's the definition of soundness?
Because it has to be valid and true, and if you've got contradictions, it's not true.
Exactly, valid and all true premises, and we all know that something that leads to a contradiction or is itself a contradiction can never be true, right? Because we've got the law of non-contradiction. You can't have P and not P at the same time in the same way. Okay, good, perfect. Yeah, great. Okay, so before we go, let's do this. Let's, like I was saying, think about something you believe, some ethical, moral, philosophical position on anything. It could be fairly mundane, it could be interesting, and try to come up with a deductive argument for it or against it, whatever you want to do. So let's just try to invent a deductive argument for some position. We'll put it in standard argument form in English, and we'll translate it, and then we will swap arguments and try to prove each other's arguments valid, if we can. Does that make sense? So now we're going to apply this symbolic logic stuff to real arguments. I'll do one too, just for fun. And if you need help thinking of something, that's totally fine. I don't mind helping. We can talk about these things. Any questions on what we're doing? Okay, cool. Let's give it a minute. I'm going to do one myself. Class gets out at 11:45, right? Okay, cool. We got 20 minutes. You already done? Did you already do it?
No,
Oh,
still trying to
okay.
think.
Yeah, no, I was just wondering. Whenever you're done, you can come up and put your argument on the board for whoever gets done first. How's everybody doing? Have we been able to come up with anything yet? Okay. It is harder than you mentioned, right? Because one of the difficulties is when you start thinking, well, what if I want to say like something like, in mine I'm talking about artworks, and if I want to say artworks, if some artwork has value, well, I can't exactly say that in our propositional language, right? I'd have to say some artwork has value, but then if I wanted to get from that, well, at least one artwork has some other property, I'd have to come up with a different type of logical language to model that, or else it gets really clunky. And so I'm trying to put that into our logic as we currently have it. But yeah, it's hard to frame it with propositions, right? Yeah, that's why I wanted us to do this. So we've only got 7 minutes left in class. So is everybody done? Okay. Let's put one up on the board real quick. And then I want us all to try to finish an argument, and then we'll come back. And Tuesday we'll start off class by finishing this little exercise. Sound good? Okay, who wants to volunteer to do it? Either of you. Eeny, meeny, miny, moe, catch a tiger by the toe, if he hollers, let him go. So it's, wait, no, it'd be you. Wait, did I do it twice? Hold on. Eeny, meeny, catch a tiger by the toe, if he hollers, let him go. No, it is you. I was right the first time, okay.
Mine's a little long, is that okay?
Yeah, that's totally fine.
I don't know if I did it right either.
We'll see.
You want it written out, right?
Yeah, I know it's probably a pain, but.
Maybe that I don't have to write out this whole last piece, like,
Yeah.
can I just like write the numbers?
Yeah, that's
And
totally
it's
fine,
okay.
yeah. And that is typically like in a philosophy paper, what people will do. They'll say, well, if 2 and 3 are true, then this other thing is true, or something like that, yeah.
My handwriting is getting bad.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Okay, read it to us now. Let's see.
I have not the case that current gun laws fully vet gun owners to accidental gun deaths or high due to irresponsible storage or handling. The US currently experiences many mass shootings. The government has a responsibility to protect its citizens, so if accidental gun deaths are high due to irresponsible storage and handling, and the US currently experiences many mass shootings, and it is not the case that current gun laws fully vet gun owners, and the government has a responsibility to protect its citizens, then gun control should be strengthened. My conclusion is that gun control should be strengthened.
Good, okay, yeah, no, but good straightforward argument, yeah, good. Okay, so we're gonna run out of time.
Yeah.
But you see how this argument works in standard argument form? Now, just real quick in our heads, how would we start translating this? It's gonna be vague, right? It's gonna be complicated, and it's gonna be hard to do concisely and give a proof of. So next time, let's start out with this one. We'll put a translation up, we'll do the proof, and we'll see how you're able to translate. Maybe you can do it in a simple way.
Okay.
But sometimes these things require restructuring a little bit.
Okay.
I think this one will probably be, I think we'll be able to do it without restructuring anything. But yeah, let's see what it's like Tuesday, right? And then everybody, so weekend assignment, finish up your argument, put it in standard argument form, translate it, and then we'll come into class together, we'll put them all up and we'll do proofs on them. Sound good? Okay, cool. I will see you all Tuesday. Take it easy. Yeah.